Good afternoon. It's meteorologist Michael Fecka. Welcome back to the afternoon weather show here. We do every day during the work days and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms, including Facebook Live and YouTube. So if you're joining from either place, please feel free to leave us a question or a comment. Hopefully, I'll be able to go through them all as I go through the forecast. But if not, I'll go back and answer any questions individually at the very end. But let's go ahead here and start off with a look at our headlines. Well, we started off with some of that sunshine today, but the clouds have slowly begun to take over portions of the tri-state, and that's going to lead into some rainfall later on tonight, with even the potential for a brief mix of even snow or sleet, mainly to the north of I-64. And then headed into Monday, it's going to be cooler out there, and we're still tracking out scattered shower chances, at least through the morning hours, maybe becoming a little bit more isolated through tomorrow afternoon. But we have daily chances for rain here throughout the entirety of next week, next weekend, and even into the following week here. So a very, very active weather pattern setting up for us here through the next 7 to 14 days. But taking a look at our currents across the tri-state, many of us warmed up into the upper 40s to lower 50s across the area. 52 in Owensboro, 51 in Henderson, sitting at around 50 here in Evansville, 48 in Huntingburg, and around 47 there in Fairfield. And here's a look at our Doppler radar. Currently, again, we're not tracking out any precipitation right now, but again, we had some of that sunshine earlier today, but now the clouds are going to continue to kind of fill in and thicken up through the rest of this evening. That rain and snow will begin to move in generally after 9 o'clock tonight, with temperatures dropping down into the mid-30s through the overnight hours. So here's a look at the future radar here, just to give you guys a better idea on that timing. Here we are at around 9 o'clock, starting to see some of that rain pushing into areas like southern Illinois, and then headed towards midnight, most of that rain continues to fill in across the tri-state, and that's when the colder air will start to push in from the north as well, and that's where we could see that potential for maybe some mixing with snow or sleet, especially north of I-64 there. But then it looks like we'll continue to see the chances for rain there as we head into Monday morning before it becomes more scattered through Monday afternoon. Now, in terms of accumulations, we're not really expecting anything here for the most part in the tri-state. You may get a slushy coating in some areas in northern portions of the tri-state there, but road temperatures are well above freezing. We've been in the 60s, nearly 70 for the past 2 days. We're above freezing now, and most of us are going to stay above freezing overnight tonight. And areas that do see that changeover will only be straddling that freezing mark. So not expecting road impacts headed into tomorrow morning, but there still could be a slushy coating on your car there, again, if you're north of I-64. But with temperatures warming back up above freezing pretty quickly on Monday, not expecting anything to really stick around and cause other issues. But we are still tracking out rain and cloud cover here, not only through tomorrow, but for much of the next week or even week and a half, looking ahead here at some of the models. So let's track it out here through Monday morning. I think that's when the rain will be most widespread across the area. It does become more isolated and scattered headed into the afternoon and evening hours, and then a front will start to lift northward headed into Tuesday morning. So we'll see another round of some scattered showers there, and then a lot of the action stays to our north throughout the day on Tuesday. So outside of Tuesday morning, it looks like Tuesday may be on the drier side even into Tuesday night. But really, we're not expecting rain every second of every day. We're just expecting the chance for rain each and every day here as we go through the work week, next weekend, and even into the following week there. So let me show you what that looks like on our longer range models here. That front lifts to our north there through Tuesday, keeping us mostly dry through Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening, but we'll see a low pressure system kind of slide in here Wednesday into Thursday. That'll reintroduce those shower chances there, and then headed into early Friday morning, we'll see another frontal boundary lift off to our north, maybe drying out there into Friday afternoon, but it's as we get into early Sunday and early Saturday morning and into Saturday afternoon that we'll see another front slide into the area, and that will continue to bring us rain chances there through at least the first half of the weekend. Now, we are starting to get outlooked here for some areas of flooding by the time we get into the middle of next week. A lot of the tri-state has been very dry this winter, so we aren't expecting widespread flooding issues at this time, but by the time we get into Wednesday and even into Thursday, we could see some isolated areas of flooding begin to develop, but it's nothing out of the ordinary here when we're expecting this much rainfall. And in terms of our rainfall amounts, they continue to increase here. So looking at the 7-day rainfall forecast, we're looking at a widespread, 2 to 4 inches across the tri-state, and some areas may even get closer to 5 by the time we get into the end of next week. And taking this winter, especially this past month, in the month of February, was the 11th driest here in the Evansville area, and folks in southern Illinois and even southwest Indiana have been included in areas of moderate to severe drought. Rain is going to be letting up anytime soon. So looking ahead here at the 8 to 14 day hazard outlooks, we're still outlooked for heavy precipitation possible for March 9th through Thursday, March 12th. So it looks like this heads into the first, 2 weeks of the month. So March definitely coming in like a lion for us here in the Ohio River Valley. But here's a look at the longer range models once we get into the following week. So this isn't next week, this is the following week here, so take it all with a grain of salt. But in general, we're expecting several more frontal boundaries to slide in and out of the tri-state, especially by the time we get into Tuesday and into Wednesday, and that's where we see that risk for some additional heavy rainfall. But here's a look at the 7-day forecast for you, just to kind of wrap it up in a little bow. We've got just a lot of rain chances on the way once we get into tomorrow, but tonight we are tracking out that potential for mostly rain and even the chance for some mixing with that snow or sleet north of I-64. That shouldn't cause really any issues for us if you're going to be out driving on the roads, because they are well above freezing. And then in terms of our temperatures, we'll be cool there on Monday, only topping out in the mid 40s before we climb right back up into the upper 60s to lower 70s here through the middle of the work week, and we may even pop up into the upper 70s by the time we get into Friday, and then that front comes in and then that cools us back down into the 60s headed into next weekend, all with those rain chances hanging around here. So that is all I've got here for the forecast. Let me go ahead and take a look at any comments or questions. I'm not seeing many, but we've got a couple of people saying hello and good afternoon. Cheyenne and Ashley, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. But that is all I'm seeing here. So I'm going to hop off the live stream and I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 5 for the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody, stay safe and have a great rest of your weekend.